Hello. So this is going to be my very first YouTube video, and today we're going to be talking about how to draw furries. It is a very simple process, but I'm going to stress a lot of things in this. Number one is shape. The shapes that I describe are going to be very important. Memorizing these shapes and not the guidelines is the best way to get this down. So please remember the important part is shapes. Let's get into this. Alright, so first things first is we're going to start with a circle. Just a simple circle. And then we're going to take that circle and depending on which way you want it facing, you're going to add a muzzle. Now, I want mine to face, let's say, this way. So what we're going to do is draw almost like a trapezoid. Just like with an angle here. Because naturally, dogs' faces kind of go in towards the bottom. But if you wanted to go a different direction, I'll show you that too here in a minute. So part 3, after we've got our circle and our muzzle, is obviously ears. Ears are pretty simple. They're just big triangles. So here's where you're gonna have to have a little bit of knowledge of perspective. I'm not going to draw him facing head on. So the second ear is going to show up right there, behind the head. And the fourth part, still got our circle. You're going to draw some of the finer details. So we got the ears. Let's say we want to be fluffy. We got some neck fluff here. Or not neck fluff, jawline fluff. Oh, and while we're doing ears, don't forget, if you want them to have a jawline, or them, make sure to specify that. You can have it round, you can have it sharp, any kind you like. So we've got fluff here. Let's add some right here. A little bit of a hairdo. Now, then, we want to add eyeballs. So this line from earlier right here, you want to keep this. This line is a good reference to where eyes should go. So throughout this, there should be a line. Matter of fact, it's easy to start with just that line first so you can get the muzzle level. So we got a circle. We got our line. Now, to show direction, whichever way it's facing, even if it's facing front, we need to add a curve. That curve will curve out towards whichever direction it's facing. So now that we got the curve, we're going to add the ears again. Add the fuzz, muzzle, a little bit of fuzz on the other side, and then some hair. Here, let's make this a little more visible for you guys. It's a pretty basic facial structure. It's just instead of the jaw being down here, it's up here. So for the next part, we're adding the eyes. So you gotta erase lightly the circle. It's finally gone. And you want to re-add your details because I'm bad at erasing. You got the jawline and then this curve for the head here. So the eyes, if you see this very faint line right here, the eyes are going to go along this. So you're going to sketch out some eyes. Don't have to be too complicated. I'm going to go, let's go with a more cartoony look. We're going to do big old circles. So we got our eyes. Then we're going to add our nose. Nose is pretty simple. It's basically a triangle. And then we're going to add a little mouth. I like to do the zigzag and then down with the little, like, kind of oval and little spots. And then really important, because it adds depth to the ear, is the little like concave part of the ear. So this is a pretty crummy drawing, but when it's put all together in a neat, unbroken process, you can get some pretty good results. So let's start with the circle. And then let's do line of direction. And then let's add the ears. I'm kind of drawing over my steps here, and since this is a directional thing, it's a lot easier to add the hair and then the next ear. Then you want the fluff down here and the muzzle. Notice how I'm not going in order. You do not have to go in the same order. The only thing that needs to be done first is the circle and the line. It can be in any order you like as long as you know what goes in front and what goes in the back. So we add the nose first because I'm weird. I want to do the nose first. Let's add a nostril. Nostril's just basically like half an oval. And since they're facing this way, it's not too hard. So we're going to get rid of the circle now. And we're going to add that jawline. And let's do some basic eyes. Now keep in mind the muzzle goes right here. It goes up. It goes straight and then up. So this eye is going to be blocked a little bit. So we got pupil. Let's add some eyebrows. Don't forget this curve to the head here. And the little concave point. And then for a mouth, let's do a smile. So for a smile, it's a little different. You're not going to do the full zigzag. And then you're going to bring it down. Let's do some jagged teeth. Pretty straightforward jagged teeth, just zigzag line. Now let's go over it with the marker and just make it a clearer image. This isn't perfect, obviously. And this isn't even how I do this anymore. But I will say that this is a great start. This is how I started out. This basic structure gives you an idea as to how the head shape works. Simple shapes, simple process helps a lot. I mean, like a lot. So we've got a pretty basic shape. But now, let's say we want something facing forward. So we're going to pull my paper here. And we're going to start new. So first thing we want to do is get our circle. And our cross line. This is immediately where it's different. We're going to want to draw a straight line across. So we're going to have this big plus sign and then our circle. So then we're going to draw the ears, which again are similar to triangles. I would say more like a rhombus at this point because they're facing forward. And again, basic shapes. That's what you want to remember in this. You don't need all of this to make a good drawing. This is just a basic reference. This is just to get used to drawing the form. So we want the fluff. So notice that there's no muzzle. There's no drawing of a muzzle. None of that. So what you want to do is erase this cross and erase the circle where the ears are. So we're going to have jawline, jawline, nose, which is going to be right at that where that line was, right below it. So the line was right here. The nose goes right underneath that. So we're going to erase that. And then eyes are going to go higher up. These are kind of sloppy, but you're going to get the point. And then mouth is going to connect to the nose and go down. And then you're going to do jaw a little bit up. So you can get that like trapezoid shape. And then just a little bit of shading here. We'll get that line, that implication of the curve up. Let's do some eyebrows. And then that concave part of the ear again. And a little bit of hair, just because we don't want him to be bald. So this isn't perfect. This is obviously far from it. But this is because I don't do this to draw. I do this to practice shapes. This is not going to look perfect. You don't want to use this to draw in like an official piece. References are great, but you want to get to the point where you can just do crappy little dudes. Like, let's see here. Where's my marker? I'm going to do one in marker just to show that having confidence in your drawing abilities is important here. So, simple nostril. Let's fill that in. Let's do an eyeball here. And then an eyeball here. See, no guidelines. You want to get, using these is good. Using these is a great way to start. But it's not what you want to do in the end process. This is the end process. You want to be able to draw on your own. It's a guideline. It's not a crutch. Simple shapes. You can recognize the trapezoid, the circle, the rhombus or triangle shape. The eyeballs are almost like ovals. Let's add some eyelids here. And then eyeballs, some pupils. And then that concave little part right here. And a little bit of fluff in there. And then let's add the curve of the head. Oops, there we go. See, and a little too much confidence. And a neck. Simple shading. Boom, furry. Easy. Let's do some eyebrows. This whole process is fairly simple. You just need to gain confidence in yourself. Being able to do this isn't hard. Or it is hard. It's a long process. But if you can do this without guidelines, if you can draw at all without guidelines, if you can go like this, simple little dudes. Here, sorry, my camera's a little. Simple little guys. Simple drawings, even poor drawings. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just practicing doing it without guidelines and with guidelines is a very important thing. Like, let's do an example here. Without the guidelines. So we want to draw a nose, simple triangle. This is going to be a cartoonish one because it's easy to describe the shapes. So then a circle, and a line across for the eyelids. You're going to draw a line down and back, and then 3 triangles. You want to do 3 bends, point, point, point. Another 1, 2, 3. And then another point, point, point. I'm going to draw semicircle, semicircle, line, 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 line. So you have these triangles here. Point, point, line, line. Then up, down, up. A little bit of a curve. And let's say, actually, you know what? Let's have them talking. There. Very simple. Very easy. But it's nothing complicated, nothing fancy. But this still can be without guidelines, or not without guidelines. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's not going to be perfect. Especially if you're just beginning. It's important to try it with and without guidelines. You need to be able to do both. Because with guidelines is a good starting point. Without it means you've nailed it down. That's your first jump to improvement. That's going from like average to like extremely good. Now I am not doing anything complicated here. These are like, this one is a very simple drawing. Same for this one. My paper's fallen. You just need to break it down. And that's the point of the guidelines, is to start you breaking things down. See, it's broken down into shapes. You can recognize what part is what. So then at some point you don't need those guidelines. Let's just do, yeah. See, it's kind of lame, but you get the idea. It's simple to draw a little dude. You don't have to be perfect. And I've done better work. Like, this is by far not my best. Here. Let's do one last example. This one's going to be more complex. We're going to use a pen here. Come on. You were working yesterday. And whatever, that'll work. Okay. Pen drawing. Again, permanent. But not really, because I've got a little eraser right here. But let's do a front-facing one. So simple nose shape is that triangle, but we're going to add 2 indents right here. And then we're going to add a little bit of a line here to show that raise up. And then we're going to put an eye here. He's got kind of a big nose, which is okay. Some dogs got big noses. That's alright. So we got our eyeballs. And we do some hair. This pen really is dying. And we want to do, let's give him a bit of smile. Little spots. Then we would do the side hair. triangle type ears, real pointy. Then we're going to do lines. And a little blep because he's a little dude. And then some eyeballs. And eyebrows. Beautiful. Just a little dude. Let's add a neck. Oh, that's a little much. Beauty of the erasable pen. So let's see. Let's do... There. We've got our little guy. Now remember the shaping. I cannot stress this enough. Shaping is all that builds any drawing. Simple shapes. I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. I know I rambled a lot. This is my first video, so if you could share, like, comment, subscribe, whatever, that would really help me out a lot. This isn't my last video, but this will be probably my last drawing video for a little while. I honestly am just really happy to start doing YouTube and stuff like that. So if you could please share this, spread it around. Even as simple as watching it actually does a lot. So I want to thank you guys very much, and hopefully this helps. So see y'all later.